So on February 2026, we all saw the ruling of the Supreme Court of the United States of America. They gave their verdicts and the ruling on the tariff, right? And we all know that the tariff has been a very effective tool in the arsenal of Donald Trump and his administration in having a lot of policy and things get done. And it was really a big blow to his administration and to the American people. But one surprising thing that happened was that we were all waiting for Donald Trump to come out and give a speech and address the media and the people about the recent activities and the recent ruling of the Supreme Court. But the surprising thing was when he came, he gave his displeasure with the ruling and with some of the judges, even those who he thought were conservative, that would have voted alongside with him. Most of them did not. The ruling was 6-3. Three was really one that was dissenting against it, and the other six agreed that the president overplayed his part in using tariff law. So while we were yet receiving this speech from Donald Trump, he was also still giving out a new tariff of 10% global tariff. I was like, okay, I thought the Supreme Court was ruling on this, so you will not have power to do this anymore. How come? Why they rule that you don't have the authority, yet you are still rolling out on that different tariff? Then that's when I found out that there were other places in the Constitution, such as Section 301, Section 122, that gives the president the ability to put tariff. And I found that the major reason that the court was focused on was on IEPA, the International Emergency Economic Power Act. That was the whole goal. And I found that this IEPA it was not just founded by Donald Trump, it has been used by several presidents. And I found that Donald Trump actually made this law very effective, that it could bring about an sanction or an embargo on a country based on trading deficit. And when they come to negotiate, they could negotiate and pay certain tariff and balance the trade. But there's a funny thing. He still has the tariff. He could still pass that. Then why was the court meeting on this? They were meeting for one thing. Is the IEPA. And why the meeting was that is because Donald Trump used the IEPA law to recruit or bring up or gather up 175 billion US dollar, and they want to make that law in the IEPA, however it's void or non-valid, so that every single money he had gathered using that constitution IEPA, once they make it illegal, that money has to either be refunded or they will have to come and defend it in the courts. So the reason for the whole Supreme Court ruling was not about the president's power to put a sanction on the country or to put an embargo on the country, but it's to not allow him to license or derive any single cash from that negotiation. So you can find out that now, as we're talking, even the 105 billion US dollar that was made by Donald Trump, isn't that you are IEPA constitution cannot be placed into the economy system of America. So really, it was not, the whole case was not just even about whether the law of what he was doing was right or not. It was to target the amount of money he generated. And this is the question. This money he generated was not really for himself. There's one thing that most of us don't know is this. Elon Musk agreed to join himself to Donald Trump administration because he knew that America was deeply in debt. And Trump was blaming the overspending and the waste that was coming out from the government. Trump tried to cut down the waste. It led to a big problem. He left. Donald Trump needs to raise up cash to save the economy. He did using the tariff and the UEPA. But now the money he made from that, 135 billion, which he could use to put back into the economy and revitalize the economy, now cannot be put back. Now they have to go back and either refund that money or defend it in court. Not the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court now has delegated it down back to the tax court, taxation court. So the question was always about the money. Most people don't realize how bad the American economy is. And Trump's plan was what? To revitalize it. So you see, it was literally not about tariffs, it was about the money. So the $175 billion now will be sitting in limbo. It can't go into the economy, it can't do anything. Why? They are fighting who gets it. So you see, there's a play. It's all about the money. But one thing I want to say is this, it's a very funny thing. If the Supreme Court don't have the wisdom that if this money going back to the economy benefits Americans and benefit the country America as a whole, that means there's a big problem with the system. Who does not want money back? So, but rather you rather sign a law that will strip the president of his ability to use a federal law, but you rather strip the president and allow the money to return back to China or to another country. Think about this. So literally now, instead of reinvesting back in the economy, helping the stock exchange, helping housing, now the economy now is on limbo while America is in heavy debt. That is a real question. It was not literally about the tariff, or not. It's about that he cannot make money from putting those charges on those tariffs. Because Trump was using that in a way to raise up capital to what to refinance the economy. And now they have placed their ruling on that federal law. Every money he generated using that law is on limbo. That is the game that we are seeing. Thank you.